Hi everyone, Soulrise here. I thought I'd do a top 10 tips on must-know tips on how to improve on Tap Titan 2 gameplay. I learnt several things while playing this game. I've been playing it for over a year and a half, so I thought I'd share with you my top 10 tips on how to improve better and just have a better gameplay at this. So let's begin. So when you first start the game, I recommend going to the option menu on the top left hand side of the screen where the icon is. Go to your power options, and by default all of these will be selected on. I'll just turn them all off, so switch every single one off. You can leave on some if you want, but personally they don't make much difference or any difference to the gameplay or quality of the game anyway. And if you turn them all off, it will save your phone battery life, and it means you can play longer, you can tap longer, you can level up longer, and also depending on what type of phone you have, it means to stop it from heating up and having to stop. So if you turn these all off, it means you can play longer and level longer. When you first start the game, I recommend checking your achievements tabs, which can be found on this bar on your first tab of your screen, for rewards you can get for doing certain tasks. For example, amount of Titan kills, the amount of heroes you unlock, amount of bosses you kill, and various other things. Early on in the game, these are very easy to complete, and I recommend going through the list to see which ones you can complete the quickest to get those precious gems. Now at this stage early on in the game, I'd recommend to save all the gems as much as you can, because these will come in quite useful later on in the game. Now, unfortunately it doesn't show on this update model, but you do also get daily achievement tasks which appear at the top of the achievements tab. You normally get 25 gems a day for certain achievements. For example, a certain amount of bosses you need to kill for that day, or a certain amount of eggs you need to collect. I would recommend completing this as early as you can throughout the day, and then checking it every day to make sure you get those precious extra 25 gems, which will definitely help you on later on in the game. Now when you first start collecting gem, you start getting a nice big pool of gem money where you collect them from daily tasks, or from grinding, or from selling equipment. I would always recommend to save as much gems as you can early on in the game. They will definitely become useful when it comes to tournament times or for later stage gameplay. Now as a pro tip, I would recommend when you go to the shop, I know it's tempting, but never ever buy any equipment or any weapon upgrades from the shop. And the reason being is because you normally get a lot of weapon drops throughout just playing the game normally. For example, here early on in the stage, it's very easy for equipment to drop, and quite good level equipment to drop, which normally you find would be more powerful than what's the items in the shop anyway. And then if they're not, after a couple of days, they will become more there's more chance of an item dropping that'll be more powerful than having to spend gems on. When the shop becomes available, I would recommend checking it out. Normally at the beginning of the game, you get access to a starter pack, which gives you lots of gems, pet levels, rare equipment, and a basic perk. It's a great way to give you a boost earlier in the game. And also if you scroll to the bottom of the shop, you can also collect more gems from liking on Twitter and Facebook. If you want to buy anything in the shop, at the early stages of the game, I would recommend to buy just pets. Pets will be increasing your power level at this stage because it comes with perks that you get after a certain amount of level. For example, on this one, after level 5 is a 5% passive bonus on all damage. And so pets will be a great source of power or income early on in the stage. So if you were going to spend any money, spend it on pets only. Crafting shards are used to buy special equipment on the crafting tab, which is found at the bottom of the page. You get crafting shards by logging in daily, or by completing tournaments. Tournaments are held every Wednesday and Sunday. You use crafting shards to buy certain equipment from the equipment tab. I would recommend to save as much as you can and buy mystic only. Event, rare, and even legendary items will drop. Not as frequently legendary, but rare and events do tend to drop quite often. So mystic does drop very rarely. In my personal instance, I tend to have got a mystic item maybe once a month on average. So it's very rare, but it does happen. As I recommend, save all your shards and buy a mystic item only. Ignore all the other items. No matter how tempting they are, mystic item will be the most important. It gives you the most power or damage for your set. Also, I recommend to make sure you complete the whole set first before moving on to the other one. I know sometimes people will be dipping in and out due to a certain item being more powerful at the time, but believe me, completing the whole set is the most important thing you can do. The relic multiplier that you get from each set will help you massively later on in the game. Skill points. Skill points can be found on your first tab under this icon. Now, skill points are used to level up certain tiers to help boost your hero, your pets, or your main character. I would recommend to spend most of it in the night tabs at the beginning for up to the first maybe 300 to 500 stages, because most of your power will be coming from pets and your main character. When you get past that stage, going towards 1k, I'll then switch to a certain build. So that'd be either clan ship or even Heavenly Strike. Once you've applied a skill point, you need to prestige to be able to reset the tree. I believe that the beginning stage is 800 gems to reset. Unless you're a VIP, then it's 200. What I would recommend, if you are looking to reset a build, so you've got a lot of skill points saved and this build you feel is just not working for you, and normally there would be no reset cost on when the game has an update coming up. So I would recommend to check the Reddit forum or Facebook Tap Titan forum just to see when the next available update is, because normally when there's a massive artifact or respec of the game, they'll give you a free upgrade, so you don't have to spend 800 gems, which is a lot. So I would recommend checking those threads just to see when the next update, so you can do a couple free respecs without having to spend any of those precious gems. What I also recommend you definitely do at the start of the game, when you reach stage 25 and onwards, you'll be able to join a clan. Now, clans are very important. They get to boost your power. Also, you can join other clanmates on completing clan quests, which are like mini bosses, and also is a great way to join community and talk with other people online and make friends. So you can either create a clan, search clan code, or search a clan directory. Now, if you do search a clan directory, I would recommend try to find the clan with the highest completed clan quests, that's CQs. The reason being, it's more likely they're more active and wanted to complete clan quests. And the reason why it's important to complete clan quests is that if you go to your first tab, this one, and the anti-Titan cannon, the more clan quests you complete, this levels up. When it reaches one level, it gives you one skip point, which removes one Titan in between the Titan bosses. For example, if you've done level 10, it will remove 10 Titans between the two Titan bosses stage, which is great. And especially when you're at mid to high level gameplay stage, the least amount of Titans you need to complete per stage is always helpful. So try to complete as many clan quests as you can daily, and also you find that most clans have a requirement if you completed them, or you may be kicked anyway. So it's just polite to complete as many clan quests as you possibly can. You do find some people online don't really like completing them because they might find them a bit boring, doing mini bosses, but I would definitely recommend to complete it. It does boost your overall power, and you find that people who are at the highest stages normally would have had completed the most clan quests. It's a no-brainer, always do them. Artifacts. When you reach level 500, you're able to go to the first tab and click on Prestige. This resets the character for the beginning stages in exchange for precious relics. Now, relics are used on this artifact tabs to buy artifacts. Now, artifacts are used to boost several stats of characters, so your main character, your heroes, your pets, on an overall power, damage or coin collection. It is a great way to boost overall power and just level up in the game. Now, the most important artifact of the whole game is Book of Shadows. That is the number one artifact you have to get. Book of Shadows is a relic multiplier. So by leveling up your Book of Shadows, it will give you more relics, will be able to level up more and repeat and rinse. You have to get Books and Shadows within your first, I say, 4 or 5 attempts. If you haven't, I would recommend uninstalling the game, reinstalling, and having to keep trying again and again until you get the Book of Shadows in your first 5 tries. Now, at the moment in the current update, there's 90 artifacts. If you don't do this within the first 5 tries restarting the game, you may end up spending weeks, even months, before you get it. There's nothing worse than getting Books of Shadows on, say, your 80th or 90th try when everyone else got it way before you. Daily rewards. Each day you get a reward just by logging in. Now, I would recommend to save all the login every day, even if you don't play, to save all the perks. It's the same with tournaments. Tournaments appear every Wednesday and Sunday. The best tip for tournaments is to save as much relics just before the start of the tournament. So do 2 or 3 runs to save as much boost, and try to log in just before the tournament's about to end. It's about an hour before it's about to end. Hopefully that means less people will be logging in, so less people for you to fight against. It doesn't always happen because most people have the same idea, so sometimes it doesn't always happen, but it's no harm trying. Also, if you are looking to be good at tournaments, be in the top 5 and 10, another tip would be to level your Book of Shadows as much as you can between tournaments. So between Wednesday and Sunday, so Thursday, Friday and Saturday, to level up Books of Shadows as much as you possibly can. And then during tournaments, just level up your power artifacts, or artifacts relating to your skill set. So for example, if you've got a clanship build, just level up your clanship artifacts or power based artifacts just during tournament. So between tournaments, concentrate just on BOS, and during tournaments, just on your power artifacts. Just by doing this alone, you should be able to get into top 5 in your tournaments easy. Another tip would be to save your crafting shards and only buy an equipment during tournament. I usually, if I want to get up to first place, will be save about 2 to 3 runs of relics just before I start a tournament. I start an hour just before it ends, and also I save enough shards to buy 1 or 2 mystics, and then during the tournaments I try to do a complete run as much as I possibly can. So that's normally about 8 to 12 during that 24-hour period. If you can do the whole 24 hours, you guarantee to get first place, but obviously due to personal life, 10 or 12 runs should be enough to secure that first place spot. Go to your option menu, go down to account and save your progress. I would also recommend to sign up through your email, sign up through Facebook. Not only does this give you 100 gems, so it's a good source of income early on in the game, but also means if your game was to crash, or your phone was to die, or any loss of progress or bugs, it means your game will be backed up. There's nothing worse than being playing this game for weeks or months and having to lose all your progress.